Welcome back to the homestead, everybody. It's been a little bit, but thought I'd film a little bit of what goes on during weather like this. I don't know where we are. I don't know where we are right now, but the first time I came out, it was -4. I don't get too worked up on the wind chill. I got clothes on, so anyway, about -4. We might be hovering around 0 right now. I was pretty concerned about the pigs last night, and you know, just because they don't have a lot of fur and everything, so I gave them a couple bales of straw. They seem to be doing fine. Get you moved over here. Whoa, sorry. I'm doing my best. They seem to be doing all right. Their water freezes in about 15 minutes, so I'm gonna have to come out here a few times during the day, bust the ice, refill it, and the first thing they do is dump the water over. But at least they all seem like they get a little drink. The chickens have not come out of the coop yet. I've got the door open just a little bit so they can come in and out, but they don't seem to be wanting to go anywhere. The goats, we'll go in there and show you the goats. I kind of quickly built a little shelter yesterday, just out of pallets and some plastic, just to get them out of the weather. The main concern yesterday was it rained. It was supposed to rain all day and then go from like 45 to below 0, so I was concerned they'd be all wet and whatever, get really cold, but I don't even think they went in the little hut. They seem to be doing just fine. So everything seems to be doing fine so far. The pigs are doing good, everything's doing good. I've got to brush off my solar panels just to keep everything charged up. We're supposed to be getting a lot of wind today. I mean, I don't live off grid per se. I've got, you know, public utility as far as electricity, but I do have a few solar arrays. I've got 3 of them that run a lot of different things out here on the homestead. They all have like lights for my barn and a charging station for the house, and for my other barn they run the electric fence. So just trying to keep everything up and running and charged, and if we do have a power outage, I can use those systems to charge phones, you know, lots of different things, flashlights, you know, whatever you might be able to charge. So anyway, just trying to make sure those are all going. We're going to get 40-mile-an-hour wind today, or wind gusts, so just trying to make sure everything's ready to go. But I'm going to go up and take care of the cattle, so I thought I'd bring you guys along. This isn't, normally these chores are done once a day, but on a day like this, I need to keep a real close watch on these animals, constantly, not constantly, but keep their water going 3 or 4 times through the day so they have water. The last time it got this cold, I was so worried about the goats and the cattle that I took my backhoe up and was smashing the pond, the ice on the pond, so they could get a drink, and they never drank. And then I learned, I just sat out there and watched them for a while, and they're just eating snow. So I think they go through the snow looking for grass or whatever. They eat a lot of snow, and they don't seem to be all that concerned. I was way more concerned than they were. I guess that goes to show you that we had cattle and all these things before we had electric heat. So they seem to be doing okay. In fact, there's a few chickens right over there. They're crazy. Some of them don't even go in the hen house. They just stay out here in the wind. I tried to get them all rounded up last night in there, but they weren't having anything to do with it. So anyway, follow along. One of them's already frozen, busted. I don't think they're going out today. They're not too worried about this weather, I gotta be honest with you. They got their winter coats on. That's my little shanty I built them. All right, I'm about halfway through my second round of chores today, and I thought I'd take a second. A lot of you guys have been following me for a long time, back when I was building my house up here, and I get some questions from time to time, how's it performing? So really, I built the house for weather like this. You read in my book, one of the things I used to determine how much insulation and everything was over like the blizzard of 77, 78, and we hit sustained temperatures of 20 below for over, I can't remember offhand, 20, 25 days in a row. And so really the house is performing perfect today. I mean, this is really the weather I designed it for. The wood burner, I can actually run it. A lot of you guys, I mean, when you build a house like mine, I've got it's an ICF house, so R22 in the walls, and the ceiling it's got R60 sprayed insulation in the ceiling. Only 4 windows and 3 doors, so we retain everything, you know, inside the house. And a day like this is beautiful because I can actually run the wood burner, not have to have a door open. So normally we have a door or window open, and we're burning the wood cook stove, the Pioneer Princess that I have. So working wonderful today, and you know, if the power goes out, we're still going to be able to heat the house relatively easy. In fact, I mean, even without a fire going, our house would stay warm for a long time, just because we have so much mass of concrete, almost 500,000 pounds of concrete inside the insulation of the house. So anyway, we don't normally get this weather too often around this part of Indiana, but we're hovering around 0 right now, and everything's going fine in the house. So there's that. Like I said, the animals, this is my second round on everything close to the house. Everybody seems to be doing just fine. Some of the eggs, if you have chickens in this kind of weather, you have to go get the eggs a few times through the day. They do freeze and bust, and obviously when it's this cold, they freeze pretty quickly. So it's kind of a waste, but I had one freeze, but I'll be out a few times a day checking and rechecking. Not that it's a huge deal if you lose a couple of eggs, but you know, you hate to waste anything in this economy. So my first time, I'm gonna head up, check out the beef, see how they're doing. I'll bring you guys along. It was 45 degrees yesterday. I doubt that ice is very thick, but it's pretty. Alright, I made it up to the hay barn. I don't know if you can see those. Right there are all the cattle. And it is windy. I mean, it's probably 25, 30 mile an hour steady with, you know, 30 to 40 gusts. This whole area was full of hay, like that over there. So I had to put this gate and this fence and all this stuff and wire it up. And over here, the front, all summer I keep this with hay to keep it out of the weather. But I knew this weather was coming, and so I emptied this whole section from all the hay and moved it around and did everything I could to keep it covered. Moved it to the other barn. because I thought, man, surely they'll want to get out of the weather. Nope, not even a little bit. I could see the snow. They've not even been in here. So I walked up here. There they are. They're out there in the middle of the blowing wind. They were laid on the ground around their hay ring just eating. And so I gave them a little bit of sweet feed. I don't hardly feed them anything like that, but I've given them a little bit over the past couple of weeks, because I don't know if you guys don't know this or not, but you can actually kill cattle if they're not used to eating any kind of grain, and mine generally don't eat any grain. So you gotta give them a little bit, get them going, get your gut used to it. But I wanted to, just because we're going to have such cold weather, I wanted them to have a little bit something else in their system. And I found you give them a little bit of that and they'll come up to you. I can check on them, keep an eye on them, because they're a little bit wild. So honestly, I walked up here because, one, I didn't want to drive the four-wheeler. My tractor says in this weather it should be warmed up for 25 or 30 minutes because it's hydrostatic. And in my truck, I've noticed the past few days it's been hard to start. The battery, I think, is getting old on it, and I didn't want to try it in this weather unless I absolutely had to. When I get back, I'm probably going to put it on the trickle charger just to make sure it's going to be able to start. So anyway, I walked up here. This is probably, from my place, pushing a half a mile walking up here. So I walked up in the wind. I'll tell you, I wanted to come up here just to get out of the wind for a little bit to warm up. It is amazing. I'm certain that some of you guys are used to maybe some weather like this up in Wisconsin, Minnesota. We're not. So I mean, it's obviously gets below freezing here most of the winter, but this cold blowing below zero is pretty cold for us. So anyway, continuing on, checking on the animals and everything. I think tomorrow I'm going to have to put out another bale of hay. They've got that one pretty well ate down, so I have to get the tractor out tomorrow. I try to use it for a few chores, not just one thing when I'm going to get it out, because it's going to be cold out there.